the matriculants that actually pass matric at the end of the year qualify to register for a degree? And how many of those students actually go and do a degree after grade 12? That amount will definitely decrease. I believe that if we are proactive in approaching the youth while they are still in school, we can change that figure and we can change that number. So, in terms of education, we know that the fees must fall exercise, well, I know you're going to speak about that, but the fees must fall campaign was probably the biggest and most successful campaign by students in South Africa. However, there are still thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of learners in South Africa that will never be able to do a postgraduate degree. And what we need to do as corporates is identify where we can assist these learners to transition them into the corporate world and to do away with this revolution of robots are going to rule the world. Yeah, we don't want robots to rule the world. So, as internship programs with learners and with SMMEs, so I've just put there 3 reasons why I believe it will work, okay? Give them fulfillment, cause them to grow as individuals, and produce results. So essentially what every organization strives for is for progression and for profits. Nobody's in business because they don't want to make money. So what we need to do as organizations and as SMEs, because we are the people that actually reach the underprivileged in our communities, the people that will never be able to qualify for internships. I know that we had a conversation when Sabelo and I met a few weeks ago, and he said to me that within the internship program they don't actually have one colored within the IT qualification segment to do their internship program. And that is a huge problem, because if there's not one colored, it means how many whites are there, how many Indians are there, how many blacks are there. We need to make sure that we are getting in the numbers from all, the races within South Africa, to make sure that each and every youth gets an equal opportunity for a better future and for education, and to be able to get into the corporate world and make a difference in their own lives and in the lives of the community, our country, and essentially then the business. So what we know is that what happens at home impacts our lives, and I'm sure that each one of us here can testify to that. So what organizations such as myself does is I develop people and I look at skills development, but within the personal life, all right? So if I'm having problems with my husband, the chances are that I'm not going to sleep tonight if my husband's beating me up, which is a problem that a lot of us have, or if my child is abusing drugs, or my spouse or partner for that matter. And what we find these days is that a lot of family lives together. So if there is dysfunction within the family model at home, it affects me, and ultimately it does then affect the productivity, the profits, and it increases the overheads of my organization that I work for. There are so many people that I speak to that say, well, I've taken sick leave because we are having problems at home. I'm taking sick leave because the child has fought at school and I need to go and see the principal. As organizations, we need to get involved within the lives of our staff to make sure that we show them that we care about them, and to obviously to decrease the impact that the personal problems have on productivity and on company time, and ultimately then how it affects our bottom line. So with the programs that companies such as, well, iMatter, I'm representing iMatter. So what we do is we go into organizations, we speak to your staff, we conduct workshops, we offer coaching, and make sure that when your employees are at work, they are present at work, mind, body, and soul. They are giving everything that they've got. If there are problems, there's so many organizations out there. I know we were speaking about iCares yesterday, that offers, and when employees knows, I was an employee for 20 years, and the minute my boss stopped caring about what goes on in my life, I said, well, that's it. I'm out of here. Because when I'm at work, I give 150%, and I want to know that when I'm having problems, my company cares about me as an individual. Obviously, I want to give my organization the best because I was in a type of job that paid commission, and I wanted to make sure that I earned a lot of commission while I was employed. So the lack of skills, life skills or lack thereof, impacts our bottom line, all right? And the lack of interest in our employees' lives will also impact our bottom line as organizations. Now, according to the National Youth Policy, youth is any person between the age of 14 to 35. So that means that we need to be looking after the youth in school and also the youth within our organizations. And what we are finding with the younger people is that a lot of the youth are only qualifying with their first degree, the ages of 30 to 45. And what we would like to then do is to make sure that we bring that number down so that we have more qualified and skilled workers at a younger age so that they can mentor and so that they can impact the youth that are still coming into the corporate environment. You know, my company is called I Matter because I believe that if I don't look after myself, I can't look after other people. And if I am not able to motivate and encourage and drive myself, then how am I going to be able to do that for other people? We need to look at holistic well-being within the corporate industry. And the only way that we are going to have a full balance is when we look at all the models that impact us as individuals and we make sure that each is at the same or similar level. So we can't, for instance, have my career is booming and it is at a 10, but then my family life is down and it's at a 3. It's going to pull down the other areas of my life. And that's me. I'm done. We cannot save every person, but I believe that if we do one thing every day and just change one person's life, we can make an impact, not only in our communities, but nationally and in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Natalie. Can we give her another round of applause? I know you didn't enjoy lunch, but we do have 7 minutes, so you did very well for time. If anyone has a question for Natalie, I'll perhaps take 2 questions. We all happy? So she spoke about, there's a gentleman there with a question. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to but I just wanted to find out how do we assist this youth now with this drug abuse. I think that's a common problem in our families as well as many families because they move out and how can we best what's the remedy to that? Because I can see that social development might be trying and other institutions are trying, but they're not getting the confidence enough because that's where things are going very wrong and it's influencing others.
Absolutely. As a recovery coach, I can say that one of the big concerns that we have, we also run a support group in our area. And one of the big issues is that we have the youth going into programs because there are so many rehabs and facilities in South Africa that not only the government but private sector offer. But what we are finding is that the drug addicts are going into programs and they are being rehabilitated and then coming back into the same environment. And so essentially what happens is that there are certain triggers that the recovering addict then has, and what we find is that triggers may be the reason why they are going back. However, there are so many rehab centers out there at the moment. So what you need to do is, if it's an individual, you need to obviously speak to them and get them into a facility and make sure that they have at least one family member or a friend that joins the program with them as a supporter so that they can understand what they're going through. And if it's within your community, I'm very sure that there is an organization that will be able to assist you. If you would like to speak to me afterwards, maybe I can get your details and I can find out if there's someone within your area that I can refer you to. Unfortunately, what we are finding is that in many communities, we are trying to get rid of the drug dealers. And we've essentially seen that that is not going to happen because you get rid of one and then there's 5 more that happens. So what we need to do is continually raise awareness about the devastation that substance abuse causes, not only to the individual, but to the family and the community. And we need to continue raising awareness, and to support those that are caught in that epidemic of drugs. Because they too want to be helped. You know, many of the drug addicts, am I done? Many of the drug addicts that we speak to, you know, are normal people that drug is only a symptom of what the actual problem is. So maybe we just need to sit down with them and find out what the actual problem is and address the core problem, because then it will eliminate the abuse of substance.
Yeah.
There's another question. I'll take one last question and then we will proceed with the program.
Okay. Thank you. Natalie, I find as a colored female, the corporate world in 2018 is still not very friendly toward my specific gender and racial group. In my current company, there are very few colored females in the management ranks. So I'd just like to know, maybe you can speak about it more broadly in terms of females, but I'd just like to know if you tick all the boxes, you have your qualification, you know your work and you do it well, what can you do in your specific organization if you're looking to climb the ladder and it doesn't seem that it's happening to you? What can you do? How can you take power back to try and make a representation within your company more a matter of what's going on in society?
Start your own business.
Ah.
That's what I did. I'm just joking. What I would suggest is, that you go in and speak to the people. Obviously your organization has a development plan. I would suggest you go and speak to them and align their development plan with what your skills are, and see in the long run how the company can assist you to then progress into the role that you would like to go into. For me personally, I don't believe that the color of my skin or the texture of my hair could ever stop me. If I wanted to achieve something, I would break down the walls of hell to make sure that I get it. So if you believe that you are capable and you are able, speak to everybody until somebody listens and gives you the opportunity.